And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to a race that's going to be of epic proportions. This is going to be the Demolition Derby of the Snickers Cup Series. This is an event that's going to happen before we end up beginning the All-Star Race weekend. And here is the catch. Here's the catch. The driver that ends up winning this race will receive a check for $5,000. It's going to be a battle to try and get the cash, a dash to the cash in a demolition derby. What more can you ask for? I mean, this is going to be absolutely exciting. We have a total of, I believe, 20 drivers. I think it's 20 drivers. I'll take a look here real quickly. Don't know for certain how many drivers we got here, but nonetheless, the way that these drivers ended up getting into the Demolition Derby, at the end of each Snickers Cup Series event, there were numbers drawn. It was either 2 or 3 numbers during the course of the season, and whoever ended up finishing the race in that certain position ended up qualifying their way in to the Demolition Derby. It was as simple as that. And no, I did not rig anything. I ended up just drawing out numbers, and whoever it was that was there ended up getting in. If it was somebody that already was in the Demolition Derby, then I drew another number, so that way more people had a chance to be able to get in. But these are the lucky drivers who are going to be in. Now, here's the difference between this race and a normal Snickers Cup Series event before we get to the starting lineup. First off, no disqualifications. You can do anything you want, and you will not be penalized. That's why it's called a demolition derby. No holds barred. Go for it. Whatever you can do, you are allowed to get away with. Then, secondly, no caution flags. So that's going to be a really big thing in the fact that these drivers, they're not going to have a caution to be able to bunch back up. They're going to have to try and keep their foot in the throttle to make sure if the guy ahead of them is leading, that they aren't going to lose him due to getting turned by somebody. And last but not least, these cars do not have a damage mode. They are no damage, which means, very simply, say our pole sitter here, Jack Richards, say he gets turned on the first lap. There could be a huge, massive wreck that involves the whole field, and Jack Richards could end up driving on by because he would not retire from the race because there is no damage. So this is going to be an exciting event. It's going to be a very, very epic race, and we're going to see who's going to come out on top and pick up the check for $5,000. Just a drop in the bucket to the $1 million that a driver could win in the All-Star race events, but still $5,000 nonetheless. Here's the way that they're going to line up for today's race. It's going to be two rookies on the front row, Jack Richards and Devin Wilson. Then it's going to be James McLeod, another rookie. He'll line up alongside of Nick Eggleston. Jake Rogers, he'll line up alongside of John Worry in the 33. Then it's Anthony McCurry alongside brother Kenny McCurry. They actually were the first two to transfer in to the Demolition Derby. John Dillon, he'll line up alongside of Noel Stiller, Ralph Green beside of Arnold Columbia. Then it'll be Angel D'Souza alongside Sean Galligan, Jake Berg beside Vincent Marsh, Jared Crocious alongside Harold Columbia, and last but not least, Matthew Rodriguez alongside Jacob Rodriguez. So, we're going to get these cars rolling off. They will complete half a pace lap, and then we will be putting them under the green flag. A lot of rookies here, and you got to wonder, a few of these drivers are scheduled to race in the Snickers Cup Series All-Star Race. If an injury would occur here in this kind of an event, would they be able to continue on in the All-Star Race? That's going to be really an interesting thing. A lot of drivers are going to be putting their cars and their bodies on the line here today to pick up a $5,000 check. A lot of rookies in this field, as I mentioned. You got 3 of them there in the top 3 spots. Richards, Wilson, and McLeod. And then you got Jake Rogers back there in the 5th position. So a lot of rookies here, but a lot of seasoned veterans as well in the form of Nick Eggleston, Anthony McCurry, Kenny McCurry, John Worry, John Dillon, just to name a few, starting up at the front of the field. But a lot of these drivers starting at the back of the pack, that's not a problem because you can work your way up to the front here at a track just like this, Daytona International Speedway. Here we go, the Demolition Derby, no holds barred, checkers or wreckers, whatever. We're underway. $5,000 hangs in the balance as Jack Richards gets us underway. Jack Richards in the 5, racing the very special CarQuest paint scheme here today. You can see a lot of special paint schemes actually here today. The BB&T sponsoring the 33 of John Worry. Tums on the sponsorship for James McLeod. Look at these guys. They're all over each other, but they're racing pretty clean here. Maybe they're going to do the destructive work later on in this race. I don't know for certain, but nonetheless, it is still 3 wide further back there. John Dillon stuck in the middle. Arnold Columbia stuck in the middle. They're almost 4 wide there as Ralph Green makes it to the inside of John Worry and to the outside of Anthony McCurry. Here we go. James McLeod there on that inside line. Let's look further back here. Let's look back around the Arnold Columbia John Dillon cars. They're all 3-4 wide back here. Oh, Crocious gets into Arnold Columbia. Into the fence they go. Oh, my word. The Arnold Columbia machine is barrel rolling, flipping upside down. Oh, my word. Up into the catch fence. Comes to rest. It looks like no. He's not even down the racetrack. He's still caught in the catch fence. Oh, my word. I've never seen anything like that before in my life. I hope Columbia's alright. No damage, remember, but that car is stuck up in the catch fence. Can Columbia get that car out of there? Off the nose of Jared Crocious, a huge wreck there. Only a single car, but still a massive-looking wreck right there, involving the Caterpillar Chevrolet from Richard Childress Racing Bar Columbia. Remember, no caution flags as Vincent Marsh now goes to the lead in that pink Speed Energy Dodge for Robbie Gordon Racing. Matthew Rodriguez coming up the inside line with little brother behind, Jacob Rodriguez. The Rodriguez brothers running third and fourth now make it second and third as they will bypass Nick Eggleston. I hope that Arnold Columbia is alright. Oh my goodness gracious, I've never seen a wreck like that. There's Columbia. He's come back onto the racetrack. Columbia is back. So he may be able to pick up some spots here and still end up getting a pretty decent finish. Jared Crocious, who ended up turning him, he's a long ways back there as well, but he could catch up if something massive occurs here. Look at Matthew Rodriguez coming down to the inside line. He will try and take the top spot from Vincent Marsh. They are still running pretty well back here. Oh, they're 4 wide back here around Jacob Rodriguez. Oh, looks like they're going to settle it out. Wow. I thought they weren't. They were 4 wide there. Look at John Worry. He'll forge to the inside line. He'd like to be able to pick up a win here as he comes down low. John Worry nearly took a win at Texas Motor Speedway this season, but ended up getting caught up behind a car that was spun out, ended up finishing a decent top 5, I think, or no, he didn't actually. I think it was like 12th position, but still, here come 2 drivers that know each other well, John Dillon, Sean Galligan, 2 members of the MFN PRA battling it out here. The 32 of John Dillon now going to get a challenge down low as Sean Galligan's going to go 3 wide. Galligan, with help from Devin Wilson, Anthony McCurry, they are 3 by 3 by 3 by 3 going through turn 4. And still, the only casualties we've pretty much had so far have been the cars of Jared Crocious and Arnold Columbia, who took that wild ride. You gotta wonder if Arnold Columbia is feeling some of that, because that was a wild barrel roll and right up into the catch fence. I wonder if any of the fans got any of the metal from that race car. I don't know. You will not see yellow caution lights flashing. You will not see a yellow flag waving. No caution. Anthony McCurry now to the front. Here comes his Hendrick teammate in the form of Jack Richards. Richards, a go or go homer in the Snickers Cup Series. He gets forged out of line, though. Make that Angel D'Souza down to the inside. And James McLeod, who started third, he's coming back up to the inside line as well, along with Nick Eggleston. Oh! There was Jacob Rodriguez, Ralph Green, they're around! Jacob Rodriguez spins. They saved it, and the only car that gets spun out, really, is the Jacob Rodriguez machine, the 97. How did they hang on to that? Oh! Jake Berg's in the fence, and I think that's Devin Wilson as well. I'll bet Wilson came up the racetrack, and he got a little piece of Jake Berg, but we are still under green flag racing. Remember, no caution. Look at this. This is a leader of the second group here. That's Matthew Rodriguez. There's a first group further up here now. Anthony McCurry, James McLeod, Angel D'Souza, Nick Eggleston, Jake Rogers, and Jack Richards. Those are the guys that are in that. Can Matthew Rodriguez, Vincent Marsh, and others be able to catch up? Oh! James McLeod into the fence! McLeod spins and saves it! He saved that thing! Are you absolutely kidding me? There's no way he should have held on to that thing! He hit the wall, but he kept it straight! No way! What? Oh my goodness, that's a save for the ages right there, folks. Alright, I'm trying to tally up who we've gotten that's ended up getting having some problems here. So far, Arnold Columbia, Jared Crocious, Jacob Rodriguez, Devin Wilson, Jake Berg, James McLeod. Those are the guys I've got listed. As Anthony McCurry continues to pace the field here. Here comes Nick Eggleston. He's got Jake Rogers. Look at this 2-car tango. Coming up on the inside line, there's nothing Anthony McCurry can do. He can just watch them go bye-bye on the inside line. Look at Jake Rogers, though. He's going to peek to the inside line. He's going to try and go 3 wide for the lead. And this will possibly help other drivers be able to catch up back here. Let's look further back, see who's running where. 4th place now is Vincent Marsh, Angel D'Souza, and Matthew Rodriguez battling it out for 5th. Here's a gaggle of cars back here, as Sean Galligan would call it, a kerfuffle of cars. John Worry, John Dillon, and they're coming in a hurry on this second pack here up ahead. John Dillon down to the inside line. He's got Harold Columbia, Kenny McCurry back there. Ralph Green is there as well. Sean Galligan, Jack Richards, and Ralph Green. They're all in that mix. Look at this massive race cars, and they're trying now to work together to run down this pack of 3 race cars that include Jake Rogers, Anthony McCurry, and Nick Eggleston. There's Jacob Rodriguez running a long ways back. He's in that 20th position. 20 cars started this race, by the way. Jacob Rodriguez back in the 20th position. How about Arnold Columbia? He's up to 18th right now. Now looking for 17th position off of the Devin Wilson machine. After flipping, the 31 forges on. There's Wilson. He's actually 18th. Arnold Columbia is back in 19th, make that, but he still is on the lead lap. Jared Crocious there in 16th. There you got Jake Berg, James McLeod. Those two, they're 14th and 15th, trying to continue on. And then here's the massive race cars we were talking about. Oh my goodness gracious, look at all of them. And they are catching up to this second pack. These are only 3 race cars here trying to battle it out for the lead. But meanwhile, there's a massive race cars, about 13 of them back there, trying to catch up to these guys. Jake Rogers leads, Anthony McCurry second, Nick Eggleston third. We're going to reach halfway here with the Speed Energy number 77 out in front. Make that 5-hour energy. Sorry, I'm doing a little bit of a sponsorship mix-up here. But look at this massive race cars coming up that inside line. Coming up, actually, 3 lines. The middle, low, and high. Oh my goodness. John Galligan going to get the Daytona shuffle there. But here we go. Jack Richards, Matthew Rodriguez. They're trying to work their way up here. Also, right there in the middle of that, the 33 of John Worry, Vincent Marsh, Ralph Green, Kenny McCurry, Angel D'Souza, John Dillon. Harold Columbia's in that mix there as well, along with Noel Stiller in the 42. Those guys all trying to catch up to these front 3, and they are catching them in a massive hurry. Oh, did Galligan get turned back there? I thought I saw the Galligan machine get turned. Nope, he must have made contact with somebody, but he didn't get turned. Look at this. What became a 3-car pack has now become a 12-car pack. Oh my goodness. Make that 14 cars. Jake Rogers leads, Nick Eggleston second, but we got some new players up here to try and battle it out for the lead. Matthew Rodriguez, Vincent Marsh, John Dillon, Kenny McCurry, they're all forged up the inside line trying to get a run here off of turn 2. What an exciting event, and you gotta give credit where credit is due. How about Arnold Columbia? This guy got turned, barrel rolled, flipped, got caught in the catch fence. He's still running on the racetrack, still on the lead lap. He's currently running in the 18th position. How about that guy? Man, oh man, oh man. Matthew Rodriguez, he's got a challenge from Vincent Marsh. And he's going to try and get down to the inside line. Cannot do it. John Dillon's going to put his car down to the inside line there. That silver car. Very different paint scheme from what we see. Oh, my goodness. They're going to go 4 wide. Oh, maybe not. They almost did, though. That was mighty close. Kenny McCurry just shoving his race car down there on that inside line. But John Dillon running that C&G Energy paint scheme here. Here comes Kenny McCurry. He'll try and get a run to the inside line of Matthew Rodriguez. Now he gets shoved out of the way. Ralph Green thinking about 3 wide to go down to the inside line. These guys, remember, they're not just racing for a win, even though it's non-points. They're racing for $5,000. And that's something that really help you hold the throttle wide open. Oh, there they go in the back. Anthony McCurry, Jake Rogers, Vincent Marsh. They're wrecking all over the place back there. Oh, Jake Rogers spinning through the grass. John Worry, Harold Columbia, Vincent Marsh, Anthony McCurry. They got the most of that, I think. Jake Rogers able to continue on here, it looks like. Oh, my goodness. Back up to the front. Ralph Green leads the way. Now, if you're Anthony McCurry, Vincent Marsh, John Worry, you're not panicking just yet. We still got a total of 8 laps to go, and anything in that time can happen. Ralph Green with the lead. Noel Stiller there in second. Now a battle for third between Jack Richards, our pole sitter for this race, and Matthew Rodriguez. 2 blue cars out in front. One from Penske Racing, one from Erhard Ganassi Racing. Here comes Noel Stiller down to the inside line. Noel Stiller is going to be in the All-Star race because of his being in the top 10 in the standings. He's had a great, consistent season so far in the Snickers Cup Series, and he's now out in front of Go or Go Homer in the Snickers Cup Series, Jack Richards. John Dillon coming up that inside line again, so is Kenny McCurry. And Angel D'Souza, we haven't talked much about her today. She's been steadily there in that pack, just hanging around there. Don't count her out. She may be a part of this before this race is over. She's got very good stats at Daytona in a lot of different series, so she may be a contender before all is said and done, as now Jack Richards, our pole sitter, goes back to where he started, at the point. Kenny McCurry there, though. Angel D'Souza down low there as well. Matthew Rodriguez there, and Nick Eggleston's there as well. very much still in this thing. Sean Galligan there. Look at Vincent Marsh back there in the 7 trying to catch up to all these race cars. That pink car. Harold Columbia has been able to catch all these guys. He was a ways back as well, and so now he's been able to move his way up to this group and become a contender once again in that 66. Angel D'Souza now to the point. Now getting a challenge down low. That's going to be Matthew Rodriguez. No, it's going to be Sean Galligan even lower. Galligan going to go 3 wide. There's been 3 wide racing all over this racetrack. Oh, Jack Richards almost did it. Kenny McCurry, he almost turned him. That was mighty close. That could have been a big wreck there, and that could have opened this field wide open as far as time, as far as having to make up ground, and we have some few 5 laps to go, so that would have really played out big into this race. Look at Harold Columbia. We just mentioned that he caught up to this pack. Well, he hasn't just caught up to this pack. He's now going to lead this pack with help from John Dillon. How about Harold just forging that inside line and driving right to the front? John Dillon now coming down to the inside line, and Vincent Marsh is back there. He is closing in. That pink Speed Energy Dodge will possibly be a player before this is all said and done as well, so we're going to keep our eyes on that. Number 7 of Vincent Marsh coming up that inside line to try and catch up to this pack. He has now caught the draft, and he's going to be a player, no doubt about it. John Dillon now with the lead. Nick Eggleston going to come down to that inside line with help from Noel Stiller. At the stripe, Dillon will lead that lap, but Nick Eggleston has the inside line and the drafting help to get him to the front. Look at Vincent Marsh. We were just talking about him catching the pack. Now he's going to go down to the inside line, and he's starting to move his way up to the front all of a sudden. But it is Nick Eggleston leading the way. Let's look further back at some of these cars here. These cars here, they are, I believe, a total of 10, 11 cars, I think. 12th position now is John Worry. Anthony McCurry's back in 13th. 14th is James McLeod. He'll lose that now to Jake Berg. He'll now fall to 15th. 16th position is Jake Rogers. Battle for that going on there is now 16th goes to Jared Croce. 17th now to Jake Rogers. 18th still is Arnold Columbia. Devin Wilson still there in 19th, and Jacob Rodriguez is 20th. Everybody still running as Vincent Marsh leads a lap there, but here comes Angel D'Souza to the inside. We got 3 laps to go in this Demolition Derby. $5,000 at stake. Who's going to get it? Looks like it's going to come down between a total of 12 drivers who are in this pack. Well, actually, there were 12 drivers, and now we've got 11 drivers. Don't know where that 12th driver went to. Who was the 12th driver? Oh, okay, nope, we did have only 11 drivers. Okay, I thought there were 12, but John Worry is running in the 12th position. Angel D'Souza out in front now. Sean Galligan, Ralph Green, Harold Columbia, and Noel Stiller forging up that inside line. They'll try and make moves here. Here's Sean Galligan all over the back bumper of Angel D'Souza. Has to give way now to the down low machine of Ralph Green. 2 laps remaining. Who in this pack is going to be able to get to the front on the final lap? It's Angel D'Souza leading. Battle for second between Ralph Green and Harold Columbia. Noel Stiller there in the 4th position. And now a battle 3 wide for 5th between Jack Richards in the middle, getting sandwiched by John Dillon down low and Sean Galligan up high. Here's Harold Columbia down to the inside. Columbia, he's been to victory lane in the NNSCRA, took his first career truck series win at Talladega, so he knows how to get around a restrictor plate track. But here comes Noel Stiller to the inside in the 42. John Dillon coming back to the inside line as well. Out of turn 4, we're going to have the white flag wave. It'll be over the hood of the Noel Stiller machine. But here comes Dillon to the inside with Nick Eggleston helping. Kenny McCurry suddenly back to the front as well. Vincent Marsh is coming down that inside line now. Matthew Rodriguez. This is going to be a new set of players to try and finish off this race. It's going to be $5,000 given to whoever crosses the start-finish line first. It's Eggleston, Kenny McCurry, Vincent Marsh, Matthew Rodriguez. Those are the cars on the inside line. Sean Galligan there as well. Now Kenny McCurry forges to the inside line. He'll put the move on the Nick Eggleston machine, but here comes Vincent Marsh 3 wide. Vincent Marsh going to try and take the top spot. Out of turn 3, he'll head into turn 4 as the new leader. Now will Matthew Rodriguez be able to put a move? Or Galligan. Here they come out of turn 4. Rodriguez to the inside, Marsh to the outside, to the stripe. $5,000 will go to the 7 on the high side of Vincent Marsh. Matthew Rodriguez giving it quite a run, but couldn't quite do it. Galligan will get credited for 3rd. 4th will be make that Jack Richards, and 5th is going to be Kenny McCurry. Vincent Marsh is the Demolition Derby winner for this season. And what a race. This guy had to come and catch up to that big pack of race cars, and he ends up going home with $5,000 jiggling in his pocket. Vincent Marsh wins it, and what a start off to our all-star race weekend. as Vincent Marsh goes home $5,000 richer. Hope you guys will tune in. We're going to have the All-Star Race Weekend starting very soon. Congrats once again to Vincent Marsh, as he's going to end up going to victory lane and hoisting the $5,000 check over his head. You've been watching a production of the NNSCRA, now merged with the NCG MRS. We will take a look now at where everyone finished in this race.